What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Hi there, YouTube. I'm back again today for another special Kickstarter review. Today for Mice and Dice from Stesso Games. This is for 2 to 6 players, ages 6 and up. Take you anywhere from about 10 to 30 minutes, depending on how many players you have. And in this game, you will be rolling dice, trying to make your way to Cheeseville while avoiding those pesky rats. Sound intriguing? Let's open it up and see how it plays. Alright, then, let's take a look at Mice and Dice, what you're going to get inside of the game. First and foremost, I want to mention this is a promotional prototype copy of the game. Obviously, yours is going to look much nicer, probably look something like this. First and foremost, we have our handy-dandy rule booklet. Much like everything else, this is a work in progress. They're still working on it. It's not terrible, though, and it's a very simple game, so you really are not going to need it more than once or twice once you learn how to play. Next, you're going to get these. Now, I think these are going to change. These are just used to help you remember what number you are, because you're going to have a number assigned 1 through 6 to you during the game. I'm imagining these are what used to be the board, and then they decided to switch over to the board, which I think is a very smart idea on their part. But that's going to help you remember what number you are if you can't remember one number. Next, you're going to have pawns, which you'll be using to move along the board. We're going to do a mock 2-player hand, or a mock 2-player game, so you can see how that works. So we'll use 2 of the 6 pawns, because it is a 6-player game. You're going to get 6 dice, and I hope they decide to give you more dice in the final game, but you're going to be rolling these dice to move along the track to get to Cheeseville. We'll get more into that in a minute. Last, you're going to get 3 kinds of cards. You're going to have mice cards, you're going to have cheese cards, and you're going to have rat cards. Mice cards are very good. They will help you out. So this one is going to let you move more if you roll a 3. So that'd be great. Rat cards, on the hand, are bad. You give these to people, and for instance, this one says you only get to move 1 space instead of 2 when you roll your number. So you have to decide when you get one of those cards, do I want to try and help myself out or hurt other people out? So it's pretty interesting. Last one are the cheese cards. These are going to let you move around the board a little bit faster, but you can only get to them once you've gotten all 5 of your dice, which we'll get to right now. So, on the board, what's going to happen is the first thing you are going to do is you're going to roll 1 dice and you're going to figure out what number you are. So I would have 6, that would be my number, and this guy would roll his dice and he would have 1. You can only have a unique number. No, 2 people can't be sharing the same number. So now, when you start the game, you are only going to roll 1 dice on your turn. So what's going to happen is, if you roll your number, you will get to move 2 spaces. So let's pretend that I'm the 1 guy and I roll the 1. I'll get to move 2 spaces. The next guy goes, he rolls nothing, and then I'm going to roll again. Now, if I roll the opponent's 6, he gets to go 1 space. So essentially, if you roll your own number, you get to go 2 spaces. If somebody rolls your number, you get to go 1 space, barring some modifier that you're going to have on the cards. Now, you're going to continue to do this until you get to this green spot right here, which is now going to let you roll 2 dice. So now you're going to be rolling 2 dice at a time trying to get your numbers. But at the same time, if you roll your opponent's number, they get to move as well. And like so, when you get to here, you'll be able to roll 3 dice and 4 dice and 5 dice. You can have a maximum of 5 dice rolling at the same time, I do believe. 5 or 6. So the next thing that's going on is, I want to point this out, is that you will be rolling the dice. And how do you get these cards, you may be wondering? Well, if you roll your number, wow, here's a perfect example. So let's pretend the guy that has the number 6 rolls these 3 6s. What's going to happen is he gets to move his spaces, but instead of going a whole bunch of spaces, what's going to happen next is he's going to get 2 cards. So he gets to pick, does he want a mice card or a rat's card? He can't get a cheese card unless he is on this orange part right here. So he can get a mice or a rat card, and he can pick those up, and then he can use those at the beginning of his turn to either play on himself or play on his opponents. But anywho, you're going to continue going up and down, well, just going up the board, hopefully not down, trying to land at Cheeseville. The first player to get to Cheeseville will be the winner of Mice and Dice. Okery dokery, Mice and Dice from Stesso Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go to the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game is not going to be for everybody. Obviously, it is a family/children's game. It is 95% luck. I mean, you can figure out exactly how you're going to use the mice and how you're going to use the rats and that sort of thing. There's very, very little elements of hand management. For the most part, it is a purely luck game. So if you're planning on busting this out at a game night, probably not going to work too well. Also, it is a dice rolling game. That's not going to be for everybody. You're just rolling dice and seeing the numbers. And, pretty much if you watch the video, you know the game's going to be for you. The last con I have is, I don't know what the artwork is going to like. Obviously, as you can see from the prototype they sent me, the artwork is unfinished. But if the board is indicative of what the artwork is going to look like, it's going to look very, very good. Moving on to the pros, I was a little bit nervous about this game. When I got it, I looked at the pieces and I'm like, okay. And then the rule booklet was a little bit fidgety because I could tell they were still working on it and that sort of thing. But rest assured, this is a great family game. I really did enjoy it. I played with a 6-year-old. She loved it. It was a lot of fun. Just rolling the dice and laying the different cards down. And the thing is that I like about it is there's a lot of children's game out there. This one doesn't feel like any of the other games I've played, per se, which is always a good thing, because sometimes when you're playing kids games, you're like, okay, this feels kind of samey. This game does not feel samey to any other games I've really played, which is a big thumbs up and a big endorsement. I'm excited to see what kind of changes they make with the Kickstarter. I definitely think it'd be a lot cooler if instead of just little pawns, you had your own little mice that were going around the board and all sorts of different things, and a nice looking board with all the stuff and the graphic design work. I'm excited to see where this project goes. But overall, Mice and Dice, I can definitely recommend you check it out if you were looking for a great family or children's game. Check out the Kickstarter link below. Tell them Bowers Game Corner sent you. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your time, YouTube.
That was a review for Mice and Dice. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bowers Game Corner.